Sudden infant death syndrome is the name that has traditionally been given to an unexpected death of an apparently healthy infant under 1 year of age. But now, Canadian coroners have stopped using the term SIDS. This is a move that has sparked a debate among parents within the and also within the medical community. Joining us now from Calgary this morning to open up this conversation is Sarah Cormier. She lost her daughter Quinn unexpectedly in December of 2014. Good morning to you, Sarah.
Good morning.
And along with us here in studio is Dr. Dirk Huyer. He's the Chief Coroner for Ontario. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, Sarah, I want to start with you. First of all, our condolences on the loss of your daughter. Can you tell us a bit about Quinn?
Yeah, Quinn was born August 18th, 2014. Perfectly healthy, happy. She came via C-section. And we had a wonderful 4 months with her. On December 28th, 2014, put her to bed in her own bassinet in our bedroom. About 2 hours later, I went upstairs to feed her, and I thought something was wrong. The dog was circling the bassinet. I screamed to my husband, I think something's wrong. He came upstairs. He said, no, she's not breathing. He immediately started CPR. Ambulance, paramedics, police, fire, everyone tried everything they could. And she was pronounced dead that evening at the Children's Hospital in Calgary.
The original cause of death that you and your husband were given was SIDS, but tell us what happened when almost a year later you received the official autopsy report and it said undetermined for cause of death.
Yeah, initially the doctor at the hospital said this was a classic case of SIDS, and we'd receive an autopsy within 4 to 6 months. 18 months later, we received the undetermined autopsy. It's so devastating to us to see that. How do you explain undetermined to people? Where do you fit? How do you find support? It's very difficult for us.
Sarah, you've also described feeling, angry, frustrated, and guilty. Where did those emotions come from?
I think those are emotions that most bereaved parents feel. Anger that it took so long to see that there was nothing. Anger that we didn't fit into a category, that potentially we didn't have support, didn't know if we should go to a SIDS support group or what kind of group we should go to. Guilt, did I do something wrong? What did I do wrong?
I want to bring in Dr. Huyer. Dirk, you hear from parents like Sarah who say undetermined almost brings on, a repeat of the grief. So why go with this term as opposed to SIDS?
Well, first off, let me just say to Sarah how sad and how my condolences are towards you and your family. It's just a terrible loss, and I can't imagine finding someone's daughter in such a way. So first off, Sarah, very, very sorry for that. I think that there's a number of things specific to the case which I won't comment on, but generally what we do, and in Ontario we still do use the term SIDS, but we provide a very strict analysis of the definition. So essentially, if anything shows up in the case that may take it outside of a completely natural case, not that we're saying it's not natural, but that could potentially do that, we provide the answer of undetermined, which means we don't know. Because we believe that providing the best answer is the answer of what we have figured out. And if we don't know, and we want to tell people that.
How then, part of this process is helping the parents make this transition and a loss of a child. So how does that make it better for parents?
Yeah, so I think that really the information is how it's transmitted. SIDS is the same, unfortunately, saying we don't know. We think it's a natural disease, but we don't know what natural disease it is. And undetermined is a different way of saying that. And so it's really the communication with the family and explaining things in a careful and honest and open way.
If SIDS doesn't exist, then why have we said that it does?
And so SIDS isn't anything but well, I don't say it's not anything. The terminology is to characterize a group of diseases, we believe. We don't know what the underlying cause of death is in a SIDS situation, but we believe it's a disease, and there's lots of research looking in to see what disease that might be. It might be a cardiac problem, it might be a brain problem, but causes the baby to suddenly stop breathing.
So the goal here is to have a more specific cause of death listed for parents. But, you know, Sarah, you're part of a support group for other mothers who have lost children. What do they say to you about this new term?
Belong to SIDS Calgary Society, and we are believers that the term SIDS needs to be used so that parents feel a connection to that.
And, you know, when you hear from the other moms who say, like, this does not help us, this doesn't bring any clarity to us, what would your response be to the medical community who says, this is better?
I don't know if it's better, to be honest.
Go ahead, Dr. Huyer.
I wouldn't say it's better. That's the last thing that I'm saying, because undetermined is a category of we don't know. And SIDS is one of those potential things that could be under the category of undetermined. So what we're doing is when we have questions and we're unsure of the answer, we want to say the truth. And the truth then requires us to look further to try to figure out why children die. And we need to ensure that research and study and further analysis occurs. And we're continuing to, year by year, review our processes of investigating unexpected deaths in infants to try to find better answers and really to try to study this.
And one of the areas of study and research that you're looking into is genetic testing. What will that do?
So genetic testing, we now know that there are a number of genes that are associated with disease abnormalities. And we've now instituted genetic testing to look for potential cardiac abnormality-associated genes, because we believe that categories of SIDS type of deaths or unexpected deaths in infants may well be cardiac in origin, and we're trying to identify those. So in those cases, while they may have been previously characterized as undetermined or SIDS, they would be characterized as a sudden cardiac death. So it would take it out of both of those categories because we would find a diagnosis.
All right, Dirk, I want to thank you for your explanation today. And to Sarah from joining us from Calgary, thank you.